Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we're taking a look at the track Good Guy by the American rock band Against the Current. This is the third single the band have released since their 2021 EP Fever. In 2022 they did work on Wildfire alongside the LEC, and then they also released Blindfolded towards the end of the year and released a music video just a couple of months ago. Believe it or not, this song was actually put together almost last summer when the instrumental side of the track was actually put together, but it didn't have any vocals, so they managed to pen some lyrics to actually go along with the instrumental side of the track and have decided to release it as a single. So will this latest track prove to be a good guy or simply be a devil in disguise? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds. I can definitely see that the band are kind of moving more towards their original roots with this. We saw with Blindfolded, they're kind of moving away from that heavier rock more into almost like pop punk, that kind of scene style that we haven't seen from the band for quite some time. We're seeing that genre really start to rise up again with new blood coming through the ranks, really trying to revive it, as well as a lot of old bands kind of going back to that sound as well. So it feels like this track is certainly going to do the same. But I love that just open energy, really make use of the actual kick drum just to really provide a strong beat in the background, and the kind of choppy guitars that we have got as well. It doesn't kind of make it as melodic as we've seen on some of the previous tracks, but does aid in really providing that pop punk kind of sound. And obviously from the title of the track, we can kind of guess this is about those guys that are labelled good guys that actually can be quite evil underneath. This idea of I'm feeling like I've had it, I'm so sick of playing in your fantasy. So almost like someone's not proving to be who they think they actually are. This idea, if you've always got the best of me, I wait it, I hate it. So you can certainly see it's from the female perspective, really showing along in a relationship form, this idea of kind of being someone that's quite malicious or not really showing their true intent. Okay, I love with the chorus how we really see Chrissy Constanza really playing around with her voice again, in her tone, almost kind of having that mimicking sound. This idea, I used to hate you, now I think you're sad, just really switching it around a little bit. That's something she did on Blindfolded as well, very well. And it certainly has that aggressive tone to it as well, that snappiness, that attitude that needs to come through with her, really trying to put it from the female perspective towards a guy. And I love that it needs that sort of like snappiness, otherwise it would kind of fall a little bit flat. So I like the quick delivery that we've got on the lyrics that really help to show that idea, and kind of the use of expletives as well sort of adds to that, just that really I'm kind of really annoyed, I'm kind of pissed off attitude.
Drop
like how we're getting this switch between these snappy lyrics and these more held notes throughout the chorus. It really just adds this constant changing of balance between just simple parts of the song and really just kind of keeps you guessing with where it's going to go. And the choppy guitars help to do that as well. They stop the song from being just horribly repetitive. It really makes it a bit more technical, makes it a bit more exciting, rather than just being too similar to a lot of pop music that we see these days that has these horrible repetitions and is very basic on the surface. And I love how we've got the pickup on the drums to really emphasize some of these parts of the track. Again, just showing that idea of mixing things up, stopping the track from being super bland. And I like a way with a lot of the lyrics really revolve around this idea of really just the kind of female fighting back at the guy, and the idea that we do see in the real world, these guys that will act all innocent and sweet, and then once you actually get to know them, they will be the complete opposite. It's almost like the idea of wearing a facade, really just to try and tempt somebody into kind of dating you or things like that. So I like the idea of I've seen your highs, I've seen your lows. And I think it's quite interesting, the line, fuck whoever taught you how to love like that, because it's that idea of they're not fully putting the onus onto this good guy, they're putting it onto the person that taught them how to love almost. So it's not kind of a direct attack on somebody, but it's kind of saying that whoever taught you to love like that is they're the problem. You've been not raised to love people correctly. So it's almost like it's targeting a different person or a system as opposed to one specific person, which is quite an interesting way that they've constructed the lyrics with this idea in mind.
I've seen your lows, I've seen your highs. So drop the good guy. Don't make me laugh. Fuck whoever told you how to love like that. I'm driving a whip till we ice. For the last time. I used to hate you, now I think you're sad. Fuck whoever told you how to love like that. Fuck whoever told you how to love like that. I've seen your lows, I've seen your highs. So drop the good guy.
I don't think the lyrics are overly complex. There is quite a bit of repetition featured in the track, but it adds to that kind of pop punk feel. It's very easy to sort of just throw yourself around to, really just kind of dance along to, despite having this constantly shifting melodic pattern feature within the track through the constant changing. But I like the fact that because they've got kind of repetitive lyrics, they've mixed it up on the musical side, which really helps to give it that depth and stops it from sounding too close to being just one of these pop songs that is very basic and very boring. And that may also come from the fact that they actually wrote the instrumental side of this track first, and Chrissy went and added the vocals and the lyrics later on at a later date. So maybe she's had to work around that, and that was what fit best with the actual melody. But I think the instruments are certainly the strong part of this track. Her voice doesn't kind of get to dance around as much as we did see on Blindfolded and other tracks. So I think she's kind of more constrained, but kind of really trying to force that idea of kind of dating a good guy that turns out to be actually quite bad. So quite a simple song that a lot of people will be able to resonate with. Everyone goes through breakups or bad relationships, so it's really easy to access for a lot of fans, which many will love. And just the fact that it just shows them going closer back to their original roots, that kind of pop punk kind of scene kid style that the band actually first started out with early on in their career. So that will be everything for today's video, but as always, please feel free to let me know your thoughts about this particular track in the comments section below. Hopefully it won't be too long before we get to hopefully see another album from the band. I just feel like it's been quite a while after the release of the EPs and kind of a couple of these different singles that they have been working on, all these different projects. But now that they have gone independent, it might be a little bit longer before we do see a full album from them. And as always, if you want to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next Dojo analysis.